Imagine that every experience in your life, whether joyful or painful, carries a deeper purpose. What if I told you that, according to Buddhism, nothing happens by chance? Stay with us as we explore how this ancient philosophy reveals that everything unfolds for a reason. The law of impermanence, embracing change. Nothing in life is permanent. The seasons shift, emotions fluctuate, relationships evolve, and even our own bodies undergo constant transformation. Buddhism calls this principle anicca, impermanence, one of the fundamental truths of existence. Suffering arises when we resist this reality. We cling to happiness, wishing it would last forever, and push away hardships, hoping they will disappear instantly. But life is a continuous flow. The key is not in holding on or resisting, but in accepting each phase with calmness. Consider nature. A river never stops or clings to a single form, it flows effortlessly. A tree sheds its leaves in autumn but doesn't despair, knowing spring will bring new growth. Likewise, we can learn to release what no longer serves us, trusting that every change leads to new opportunities. Accepting impermanence frees us. It allows us to enjoy the present without fear of losing it and face challenges with the certainty that they too will pass. If everything is in constant motion, then no difficult moment is a final destination, only a phase in the journey. True peace is not found in avoiding change but in flowing with it. Cause and effect, karma in everyday life. Nothing happens by chance. Every action, thought, and word sets off a chain of consequences, even if we don't notice them immediately. This is the essence of karma, a fundamental Buddhist teaching. Karma is not about divine punishment or reward, it's a natural law, much like gravity. Every choice we make creates ripples, affecting both ourselves and those around us. Some consequences appear instantly, while others take years to manifest. But one truth remains: everything we do leaves an imprint. Karma extends beyond actions. It includes our thoughts and emotions. A person who harbors resentment, even without outwardly expressing it, still carries its weight. On the other hand, cultivating compassion and patience generates peace, both internally and externally. The quality of our lives is shaped by the quality of our actions and thoughts. Sometimes we see people behaving unjustly without apparent consequences, while others act with kindness yet face struggles. This may seem unfair, but Buddhism explains that karma operates on its own timeline, like seeds taking varied lengths to sprout. Understanding this principle empowers us to take responsibility for our actions, knowing that every decision plants the seeds of our future. Karma teaches personal accountability. Instead of blaming circumstances or others for our situations, we can reflect on our own role in shaping our reality. This isn't about self-punishment, but rather recognizing that change is always within our reach. Every moment is an opportunity to create positive karma through our thoughts, words, and actions. Letting go, attachment, and suffering. Buddhism teaches that suffering stems from attachment. We cling to people, possessions, emotions, and ideas, believing they bring us happiness. But nothing is permanent. When what we hold onto changes or disappears, pain arises. The problem with attachment is that it ties our happiness to external factors. We believe that without a certain relationship, job, or circumstance, we cannot be happy. Yet, basing our peace on the uncontrollable guarantees suffering. Letting go does not mean ceasing to love or value. It means enjoying without possessing, being present without demanding permanence. True love is free from attachment. It flows with acceptance rather than control. When we stop clinging, we discover a new kind of freedom. We learn to enjoy the present without fear and live with greater ease, unburdened by the anxiety of keeping things unchanged. The wisdom of acceptance. Flowing with life. Life rarely unfolds as we expect. From childhood, we are taught to strive, to resist setbacks, and to fight for what we want. But few teach us the power of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. It's not about giving up. It's about seeing reality clearly and choosing peace instead of resistance. Often, our suffering doesn't stem from what happens to us, but from how we react to it. Frustration arises when things don't go our way, when people don't act as we expect, or when change disrupts our plans. But life moves forward, regardless of our approval. Resisting reality only deepens suffering, while acceptance allows us to move with greater ease. Buddhism teaches that everything that happens is connected by a web of causes and conditions. While we may not always immediately understand why things unfold as they do, every experience holds a lesson. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can shift our perspective to "What can I learn from this?" A well-known Buddhist parable illustrates this wisdom. A farmer's horse ran away, and his neighbors lamented his misfortune. The farmer simply said, "Who knows if this is good or bad?" Days later, the horse returned with several wild horses, which the neighbors saw as great luck. Again, the farmer responded, "Who knows if this is good or bad?" Later, his son broke his leg while taming one of the wild horses, which seemed like another misfortune. But when soldiers came to recruit young men for war, they left his son behind due to his injury. What seemed bad had become a blessing. Life is a continuous unfolding, and its true nature is only revealed over time. Acceptance is strengthened through mindfulness and meditation. By observing our thoughts without judgment, we realize that emotions and situations come and go, just like clouds in the sky. This practice cultivates a sense of inner peace, allowing us to accept life's twists and turns with grace. A great challenge is accepting others as they are. We often suffer because we want people to change, to be more affectionate, to think like us, to behave in certain ways. But each person has their own journey. When we stop trying to control others and accept them as they are, relationships become more harmonious. Similarly, self-acceptance is crucial. We are often our own harshest critics, punishing ourselves for mistakes or wishing we were different. But self-compassion is a vital key to inner peace. Accepting ourselves doesn't mean we stop growing, but rather that we release the burden of self-judgment and treat ourselves with kindness. Finding meaning in adversity. Life brings challenges, loss, failure, illness, and conflict. These moments may seem meaningless at first, but every adversity carries a lesson. Difficulties often spark resistance, frustration, or sorrow. But when we observe closely, we see that even in darkness, wisdom can emerge. Nothing is truly meaningless when we learn to transform suffering into understanding. Buddhism teaches that everything is interdependent, nothing happens in isolation. Many obstacles are actually stepping stones to growth. What seems painful today may be preparing us for something greater tomorrow. When we embrace impermanence, accept karma, release attachment, and flow with life, we uncover a profound sense of peace. True happiness is not found in controlling life, but in harmonizing with it. Every experience, no matter how challenging, can guide us toward wisdom and inner freedom. And in that understanding, we find the serenity we've been searching for all along. A Buddhist parable tells of a disciple who saw a caterpillar struggling to emerge from its cocoon. Wanting to ease its suffering, he gently opened the cocoon with his hands. However, the butterfly that emerged could not fly. Its wings remained weak because the struggle to break free was essential for their development. In much the same way, the challenges we face shape us, strengthening the qualities we need to move forward in life. Difficulties can be our greatest teachers, if we are willing to listen. They push us to look inward, to question our beliefs, and to grow. Suffering exposes our weaknesses, but it also presents the opportunity to turn them into strengths. Every hardship offers us a choice, to remain stuck in pain or to use it as fuel for transformation. In life, we may not always get what we want, but we always receive what we need to evolve. A failed relationship may teach us the value of self-reliance. A professional setback may signal that it's time for a new direction. A health challenge may remind us to nurture our body and mind. Nothing is in vain if we are open to learning. Often, only with time can we recognize the hidden purpose behind adversity. What once seemed like misfortune may later reveal itself as a turning point toward something greater. The key is not to dwell in despair but to trust that everything has meaning, even if we don't yet understand it. Buddhism teaches us to view every experience as an opportunity for growth. Instead of cursing the storm, we can ask what it is teaching us. Is it guiding us toward patience? Helping us relinquish control? Preparing us for what lies ahead? The mind naturally resists pain, wanting to avoid or suppress it. But when faced with awareness, pain can be transformative, like fire refining gold, stripping away the unnecessary to reveal its true essence. Pain often signals where we need healing. If criticism wounds us deeply, it may be a sign to strengthen our self-worth. If loss devastates us, perhaps it is an opportunity to practice letting go with grace. Every difficult emotion highlights an area within us that seeks understanding and healing. Accepting hardships does not mean surrendering to them, Rather, it means embracing them as stepping stones on our journey. The way we interpret our struggles shapes our experience. We can see them as burdens or as catalysts for growth. The choice is ours. A powerful exercise is to reflect on past hardships and identify the lessons they taught us. We may realize that those very struggles cultivated our resilience, compassion, or wisdom. Even the most painful events can hold purpose when viewed through the lens of learning. Shifting our mindset from why me to what can I learn from this changes our relationship with suffering, allowing us to grow instead of remaining trapped in pain. Life's lessons are not always easy, but they are always valuable. Each experience, no matter how difficult, is preparing us for something greater. When we embrace challenges as opportunities, we stop fearing them and start using them for our evolution. Nothing happens by chance. Every hardship is a doorway to a deeper understanding. We just need the courage to walk through it. The power of mindfulness, living in the present. The human mind drifts endlessly between the past and future. We cling to memories with nostalgia or regret, and we project into the future with anxiety or expectations. Rarely do we remain fully present in the only moment that truly exists, now. In Buddhism, the practice of mindfulness anchors us to the present, encouraging us to experience each moment with full awareness. When lost in thoughts of the past, we relive wounds or grasp at moments that no longer exist. When consumed by the future, we construct imaginary scenarios that may never happen, creating unnecessary stress. But the present is the only space where we can act, feel, and experience life in its fullness. Mindfulness is not just a meditation practice, it's a way of being. It means engaging fully in whatever we do, rather than being pulled away by distractions. Eating mindfully means savoring each bite instead of rushing through a meal. Listening with full presence means hearing another without formulating our next response. Walking mindfully is feeling each step, the contact with the ground, the breeze on our skin, rather than being lost in thought. Most of us live in a state of constant distraction. We check our phones while conversing, think about work while with family, and ruminate over worries while eating. Physically, we are in one place, but mentally we are elsewhere. This habit diminishes our ability to fully experience life and increases our stress. Buddhism compares the restless mind to a monkey that jumps from one thought to another without pause. Meditation trains this monkey mind to settle, allowing us to focus on the present. At first, this practice can be challenging, but with time, we develop awareness and gain control over where we direct our attention. A simple mindfulness exercise is to focus on the breath, observing the inhale and exhale without attempting to change it. Each time the mind wanders, we gently bring our focus back. This small act strengthens our ability to remain present. Mindfulness does not mean eliminating thoughts. Rather, it teaches us to observe them without becoming entangled in them. Imagine the mind as a sky and thoughts as passing clouds. We do not need to grasp them, only to watch as they drift by. Through mindfulness, we realize that much of our suffering is unnecessary. It often arises from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But when we remain in the present, we discover a peace that is independent of external circumstances. Mindfulness also helps us respond instead of react. Often, we act impulsively, allowing anger, fear, or frustration to dictate our behavior. However, when we cultivate presence, we create space to choose our response with clarity and composure. Buddhism teaches that every moment is an opportunity to awaken. We don't need to wait for a retreat or a special event to practice mindfulness. It can be integrated into daily life. We can be mindful when washing our hands, drinking tea, or listening to the sound of the wind. Life is happening now, and every instant holds value when we learn to appreciate it. Many chase happiness as if it were a distant goal, believing it will arrive when they secure a better job, find the perfect partner, or achieve success. But happiness is not in the future, it is in how we live the present. If we do not learn to be present now, we will always be chasing an illusion. Mindfulness reveals the beauty in everyday life. It helps us cherish the small moments we often overlook. It deepens our connection to ourselves and to existence itself. While it doesn't eliminate challenges, it equips us with the clarity to face them without getting lost in mental turmoil. Every moment presents an opportunity to cultivate mindfulness. We can begin with simple habits, taking a few conscious breaths in the morning, listening deeply to those around us, savoring each meal with gratitude. Over time, these small acts transform the way we experience life. Mindfulness is not an abstract concept, it is a practical tool for finding peace amid chaos. It reminds us that life is not in the past or the future, but here and now. And when we fully embrace the present, we realize that happiness is not something we must chase, it is something we can experience in this very moment. Transforming the mind, from pain to enlightenment. Our mind can be our greatest ally or our greatest source of suffering. Buddhism teaches that it is not external events that cause our suffering, but our interpretation of them. By learning to observe our thoughts rather than be controlled by them, we can transform our experience of life. Most people react automatically to situations without realizing they have a choice in how to respond. Through meditation and self-awareness, we can train our minds to move beyond impulsive reactions and instead cultivate clarity and serenity. The goal is not to eliminate suffering, but to understand it. Every challenging emotion presents an opportunity for growth. By letting go of attachment to negativity and cultivating inner peace, we transform our mind, and in doing so we transform our reality. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Buddhist wisdom. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to our channel and activate notifications for future content. Share your thoughts in the comments. What insight impacted you the most? Remember, everything happens for a reason. Let's continue learning and growing together.